An unexpected doctor visit or hospital stay can result in big bills, even if you have insurance. Mississippi has the country's highest concentration of people with past due medical debt, 37%, according to a recent study.
It is forcing some people to file for bankruptcy, but there are some things you can do to stay on top of it. Here's what we found out.
Americans are used to going into debt to buy a house or a car or to go to college.
Your student loans and your mortgage payment are super predictable. You know about that years in advance. Medical debt, almost by definition, is going to surprise you, and it's going to be bigger than you expect because it's something you couldn't plan for.
Ryder Taff is a financial planner with new perspectives in Ridgeland. He says a lot of people are not prepared for the financial aftermath of an unplanned visit to the ER or an emergency medical procedure.
Medical expenses do play a pretty big role in bankruptcies because, again, they're your most unexpected debts.
Consumer Reports says nearly 30% of Americans had unpaid medical debt turned over to a collection agency in the last 2 years. 1/5 of Americans say their credit score has been negatively impacted by unpaid health care bills. They're simply struggling to pay what they owe, in some cases even after insurance. Taff says you stand a much better chance of surviving financially if you take action before your bills are sent to a collection agency. He says you should call the hospital or doctor's office you owe and tell them what you're up against.
Medical debt is some of the most negotiable debt there is because if you think about it, your insurance company just sits around negotiating medical costs with the hospital. They're used to this stuff getting negotiated.
He says they might be willing to lower the amount you owe. At the very least, work out a payment plan that you know you can handle.
If it's something that you can't just pay out of pocket straight away, get on a payment plan with the hospital. You don't want them sending that to collections.
Taff says the hospital will not report you to the credit monitoring agencies, but collections will. After that, even if you pay, it will still affect your credit score.
There are some new regulations that could help. If insurance eventually covers the disputed amount, it must be removed from your credit report, but it's up to you to make sure that happens. Another new rule says the credit monitoring agencies must wait 180 days before putting an unpaid bill on your credit report. That gives you and your insurance company a little more time to figure things out.
Always stay on top of these things. With any debt, and especially with medical debt, you have to stay on top of these things. Even if your insurance company is going to deal with it, make sure you know where it is in the process.
To recap, address your unpaid bills with the hospital or doctor's office before they're sent to a collection agency. Ask if they will lower the amount you owe. And set up a payment plan to get it all paid off over time.
Hospitals don't want you to go bankrupt because of this. They want to get paid as well, so they're willing to work out a payment plan. Debt collectors, they don't want you to go bankrupt. They want you to pay those bills. So that's why they're willing to negotiate payment plans. That's why they're willing to shave something off the bill. And again, staying on top of it, and even once you start a payment plan, being in good communication with the party you're paying to is important.
Communication, effort, and time, key factors in overcoming the high cost of living.
If you are dealing with unpaid medical bills, we have links to some resources that might be helpful, including where to get a credit report that is truly free. You can find those links in this story on our website, WLBT.com.